Yes, 8 teams remain in the United Soccer League, and we kick off the conference semifinals with a grudge match. It's the number 3 seed Phoenix Rising FC unexpectedly at home here at the Phoenix Rising Soccer Complex, taking on the number 7 seed Swope Park Rangers in a rematch of the Western Conference quarterfinals from a year ago, where Swope emerged in penalty kicks. Tyler Terrence, along with former German pro Devin Kerr, glad to have you with us on what should be an electric night and another sellout crowd for the men in red and black. And Devin, as we take a look at the USL Cup bracket, we had a slew of just wildly entertaining games. I'm going to ask you, which one did you like the most from the opening weekend in USL Cup postseason?
Red Bull Charleston Battery. Saw it coming a mile away. The Battery, you know, they couldn't hold on to a lead a couple weeks ago. 3-0 at halftime. Red Bull came back, tied 4-4, and then, you know, just coming in, something didn't feel right. John Wolenak and his boys, when they hit the postseason, they really downshift and get it going. They're looking great again this year. Well,
it's a thing that you could probably say is the same for Swope Park Rangers. And meanwhile, for Phoenix Rising FC, their first ever home playoff match, their first ever postseason win. Didier Drogba gets them out of the doldrums a little bit in the first half, and JJ and Solo seal the deal in the second.
To be fair, T2 looked good. They executed to the game plan once again. Couldn't find the back of the net like they were able to a week before. Phoenix Rising got a bit lucky, to be honest. They need to do better once they get into the final third, lacking a bit of inspiration on the offensive side of things. The good news was, defensively, very composed. Expect the same tonight.
They were able to get a win just after 6 days before losing to Cameron Knowles' side. For Paolo Nakamura and Swope Park, their start at Sacramento, well, let's just call it what it is. It was abysmal. They gave the goal away to the Quails. Bijev with the opener, but then a great response from the youngsters. And like Red Bulls too, whenever it comes postseason time, they just kick it into a different gear.
Different personnel, same story. The plot thickens as the season goes on, and, you know, Phoenix Rising would like to pay them bit of a payback here. A little bit of revenge game coming this direction, but uncharacteristic from Didic and Smith in the back line. They solidified it, did much better down the stretch.
Well, the stage is set. Phoenix trying to exact revenge against the side that ousted them in the first ever playoff appearance in 2017. Swope Park trying to make a 3rd consecutive conference final appearance. It's Phoenix and Swope Park Rangers when we come back.
We first got involved with the Rising last season. Right away, we made a really cool debit card and a great new kids account. We're bringing more soccer culture into our branches as well. It's a work in progress.
If you just sign that first
I'm
one
so
there.
sorry. I don't feel comfortable signing that.
I don't get the math here.
Was this the same car we talked about?
What's this dealer preparation fee?
I'm so sorry. This just is not.
What we talked about.
Get the car without the car salesman. Carvana, the new way to buy a car.
Worried about your kids' health care? Sick of doctor's offices with no appointments available? Let Happy Kids Pediatrics help. Our hand-picked staff is carefully cultivated to provide professional and compassionate care when your child needs it. Plus, we happily accept access, private insurance, and even offer special pricing for patients with no health insurance. With over 18 years providing quality health care to Valley children in our convenient Valley-wide locations, you can trust your child's health care to Happy Kids Pediatrics.
At Showcase Honda, we want to show you the best. Let us show you our massive inventory of new Hondas, like the 2018 Honda Accord, 2018 North American Car of the Year, Honda Civic, or Honda CR-V. Or let us show you a certified pre-owned Honda, one of the best values on the road. And let us show you an unmatched sales and service experience. Only at Showcase Honda. Easy to find on Camelback Road just west of the 51. Online at showcasehonda.com. Get to the show today.
Almost set for kickoff and to kick off the conference semifinals in the USL Cup postseason. Again, Tyler Terrence along with Devin Kerr, Glad to have you with us, and we'll take a look at the starting 11 first for Phoenix Rising Football Club. And Devin, for this Phoenix side, we were told originally that it was going to be the same exact starting lineup that we saw against T2. A slight change, Tristan Blackman coming back from Los Angeles FC, who are making their first ever postseason appearance in their first ever season, and he's going to be tucked in alongside Joseph Farrell in the center back position.
An interesting change from Rick Shantz coming into that back line, but Blackman more than capable of getting the job done, especially when he's paired next to Amadou Dia. Going forward, Colin Fernandez stepping in for Musa, who's been injured. Didier Drogba tucking in that reserve number 10 underneath Chris Cortez. But if they're going to get it going, you have to keep an eye on the outside. Jason Johnson and Solomon Asante. Going forward last year, it was decent, not great. The talent today is going to be a bit different. You're going to have to deal with two very experienced outside backs in the likes of Swope Park Rangers with Justin Bilyeu and Coton Storm. And you're going to have that ebb and flow offensively and defensively to make sure you get the job done.
And for Paolo Nakamura on this Swope Park Rangers side, he kept his cards very close to his chest, Evan. Even when we asked him, he really didn't feel like he needed to tell us because it's become that big of a game. And really, you know, with these sort of MLS2 teams, it's always difficult to tell what the lineup is going to look like. But one thing you can always assure with a Swope Park lineup, there's going to be a lot of talent, a lot of young talent.
Could have just said we're going to do the same thing. But number 18, Eric Dick, was absolutely fantastic last week and able to get their victory. So the early goal, he was able to fight back in. We spoke about Storm and Bilyeu. Haji Berry, Carlton Belmore, what are they going to be able to do from the outside positions? Rick Shantz telling us that he's very scared of them when they're isolated out there in the wings. He likes the fact that they're not on the interior of the field because, you know, sometimes in there they can be a bit more dangerous.
Haji Berry has broken the single season record for goals in a season, surpassing Carlton Belmar just a few weeks ago. He has 18 now on the campaign in its entirety. That's including regular season and postseason. He had the game winner against Sacramento. He had that incredible streak of 8 consecutive games with a goal that lasted from August 19th until September. And Devin, really for the Swope Park side, you really never know what you're going to get. And when you talk to people around Phoenix, if there was one team that has really sort of had their number, it's Swope Park. And while Rick Shantz is going to downplay it a little bit, Devin, you and I were around camp for a little while. This game means a lot more than just a spot in the conference final. This is getting over a hump and getting over a team that really, for the most part, over the past couple of years, has had their number 1, 1, and 3 against Swope in the past 2 seasons.
Make no mistake about it. This is the exact matchup that they wanted. Looking forward, you can bet they want to take on Orange County as well. They'd love to have a home game, but there is some unfinished business between those two squads. First and foremost, 90 minutes, Swope Park Rangers. And it's all going to be about execution. What is the backline going to bring when you have number 77, Tristan Blackman, step in? Again, more than capable, but when he's not involved, that chemistry tends to be a bit off. And then looking forward is Jason Johnson and Solomon Asante. Are they going to be able to consistently provide opportunities for the likes of Didier Drogba, Chris Cortez? On the other side of the ball, we know what Haji Berry and Carlton Belmar can do. Number 36, Tyler Blackwood. It's funny, he plays in that 9 position, but Rick Shantz telling us that he's kind of the fallen soldier because he's thrust into that spot, only because they don't necessarily have room for him anywhere else on the field.
Well, there are a lot of storylines at play, and of course we must honor the legend as well. It could be the last time we see Didier Drogba lace up the boots if Phoenix are to fall here tonight, but you can bet that the part owner and the outstanding player, both for Phoenix, for Chelsea, Le Mans, Cote d'Ivoire, you name it, is going to do everything in his power to ensure Phoenix get their second ever playoff win and get to the conference final. Respect between JJ and Carlton Belmar, and we are officially underway in the conference semifinals in the United Soccer League. Tyler Terrence along with Devin Kerr, an electric 90 minutes and possibly more ahead here in the Valley of the Sun. Phoenix came stumbling into the postseason as a 3 seed. A lot of people question their form heading into the first round match against T2, but they put all those questions to bed with the 3-0 win. Swope Park, meanwhile, came down to the last week. Their appearance in the postseason was in question, much like Phoenix's form. But, as we've talked about already and we'll continue to talk about, no matter who the manager is, the personnel, Swope Park are always going to reload and always going to be dangerous. You think about a Swope Park team that got to the USL Cup final a year ago, yet James Musa in the middle, who's hurt for Phoenix, Christian Duke, who's now with Orange County, and they reload yet again. They have a lot of great young talent in the middle of the field. Juan Kuzain, of course, who had the equalizer against Sacramento. And it is just incredible that a side that has maybe not the same luxuries that Phoenix has from an independent standpoint still continues to get it done year in and year out, looking to make a third consecutive conference final appearance, and on top of that, win their third straight Western Conference final. It's remarkable stuff, and Rick Schantz had nothing but the kindest things to say about Peter Vermees and what Sporting Kansas City and Swope Park have been able to put together.
You talk about Peter Vermees. A lot of people like that name, though it may not necessarily come to fruition. They like that name. He's involved in the United States men's national team job.
I certainly like that name.
Everything that he's come along, been able to do for Sporting Kansas City, and obviously that has a direct effect with Swope Park Rangers. This just comes down to individual battles tonight. Everybody's going to have the momentum that they want going forward. They're going to have the desire to go out and get a great performance put in. But can you look across the field? We've already made a reference to some of them, but can Solomon Asante nullify the runs by Justin Bilyeu? Can Dia, when challenged, be able to take on Colton Storm, who likes to get high up on the pitch? The wing play is really going to be a factor tonight. A lot of times we talk about what goes on in the center of the park, but because of the talent that you have, not taking anything away from Kuzain, Fernandez, or Lambert. Those guys are all very talented for both squads, respectively, but the pace and the way that these two teams play, consistently, they like to get up and down into the channels. And don't be surprised on Phoenix's side of things. We heard it from Schantz directly. They might invite that pressure a bit to try and counteract it going the other direction. So let those high backs come up a bit more. That'll give them the opportunity to play and go with pace, tuck in behind the space.
Chris Cortez, a pass that goes out of play. Had 17 goals in the regular season. And with Didier Drogba being out for the majority of the 2018 campaign in the regular season, Chris Cortez stepped up in a massive, massive way. He took a knock against Las Vegas in Sin City, which kept him out for the season finale against T2. They certainly missed him, but the combination of Didier Drogba and Chris Cortez up top is something that, Devin, you asked Coach Schantz, and he said we probably would have seen it earlier had both been healthy and match fit. But we're getting a full dose of it here in the postseason, and while they didn't combine for a goal in the first round against T2, they were still dangerous as Drogba looked like more of a hit than a cross. And cleared away by Jidic and the Swope Park back line. And we're able to hang on by quite literally a thread in Sacramento for that 2-1 win. Here's Kevon Lambert. Dia. Broken up by Carlton Belmar. Dia, former product of Sporting Kansas City himself. Swope Park will reclaim possession happily. Kuzain tried to thread the needle. Tristan Blackman stepping up. And Devin, these are two teams who love to keep the ball, but at the same time, they're two teams who are deadly going forward in the counterattack.
To be fair, Swope Park will probably keep it a bit more in this match, and that's okay. Phoenix doesn't mind laying chase. Going side to side with possession like you're seeing right now, definitely not the end of the world for Phoenix Rising FC. We used that phrase before, it's the purposeful possession. A lot of times you'll see Swope Park Rangers have 400-500 passes be put in a game, but really only about 30% of it moving in a positive direction, and you're seeing that right now. About a 20-30 yard span going back and forth. That's okay. Just keep it in front of you, ship back and forth. And that's where the mind games start to play, is it's the game within the game. It's the overlapping run. It's the checking here and there, the negative space behind. A lot of times you can't see that as a fan. Always fun, though. Don't necessarily just watch the ball. Watch the chess pieces being moved around the board.
Graham Smith, the central defender for Swope Park Rangers, is actually one of the leading passers in the United Soccer League, and that goes back to Devin's point of the purposeful passing. And if one of the leading passers in the league is a central defender, you have a feeling that that possession is exactly going to be menacing by any stretch of the imagination. As here's Blackman again. Phoenix now in clear possession. Able to find Solo, who had the third and final goal for Phoenix, driving forward with purpose. Abdul Salam on the first time, looking for JJ. And the Jamaican was trying to lay it off for Drogba. Here's a look at Smith. Lambert getting a touch to it, and it'll be back to Swope Park. Mentioned before, Swope Park Rangers with their third consecutive conference semifinal, appearance. Able to take down Sacramento, of all teams, in the conference semifinal a year ago before beating OKC Energy FC in penalties in the following round. That got them to the USL Cup final, where they fell for a second straight year, this time to Louisville City FC. And in 2016, they actually were able to defeat the Orange County Blues before they were just simply Orange County Soccer Club, 2-1 in extra time. Opening goal came from Mark Anthony Gonzalez, and the game winner from Swope came from Dane Kelly, as this is a dangerous ball sent forward. Barry collects, working on Abdul Salam. Haji Barry, strong first touch in the shot, never challenging Waz, but a brief glimpse of what Haji Barry's capable of in the final third.
Quick footstep by Haji Barry. Good job by Saad Abdul Salam regaining his composure and getting back into the final third, but just that one little step over, touch inside, has a crack to the near post. Defending by Waz.
Lambert, neat little touch trying to find JJ, and this is sometimes where Rick Sean says his side can be a little bit too confident playing out of the back, where sometimes he would like to see them play a little bit more direct, but that's what makes Phoenix Phoenix, is their bold play in terms of trying to keep the ball and then their ability to mix it up going forward. Here's Jidic, he had the equalizer 10 minutes following the Didier Drogba go-ahead goal in extra time when these two teams met in the Western Conference quarterfinals a year ago. And there's a look at the interim head coach. First full season for Coach Shantz, where he was able to hang on to that title until the final game, which is obviously still to be determined, but his second stint as an interim head coach. But he has just done a flat-out phenomenal job of getting this team ready for the postseason, getting them a top 4 seed, getting them now 2 home playoff matches, and getting them their first ever playoff win. And Devin, you mentioned it on our phone call with him a couple of days ago. He really broke out the big guns when it comes to fashion in the postseason, rocking the suit. And he said it straight up. It's the postseason. He's got to step his game up as well when it comes to how he looks.
Playoffs. Playoffs. Yeah, he's done well in the black jacket last week, and now stepping up with the gray. Very nice. He openly admitted that he did it on his own. Mr. Shant's not involved in the decision-making on that one.
No help from his lovely wife, Lisa.
Let's see what she says after that conversation.
Asante in for Didier Drogba, taken away by Juan Kuzain. And Swope Park trying to operate on the other end. Haji Barry leading the charge for the visitors. It's a great ball through, but Waz read it the entire way. And I have a feeling we're going to see a lot of sweeper-keeper type play from Carl Wazinski in the following 80 minutes or so, Devin, just because Swope Park like to break quickly, and it's those early balls that are going to get Phoenix.
That's why it's so difficult to match up against this Swope Park team, because they can lull you to sleep. They'll put together 15, 20 passes just going back and forth. And then the next possession, boom, 1, 2, 3, they're down in the final third. They try and have a go on goal. As a defender, you always have to be very cognizant of your environment and trying to figure out exactly what the game plan is that's being thrown at you. Joe Farrell, Blackman are going to be the ones in charge in that situation.
Cortez is called for the foul. And this is a much better start than what we saw from Phoenix in the first 10 to 20 minutes against T2 last Friday. And we pretty bluntly told Coach Shantz that we thought it was one of the worst opening performances we've seen from Phoenix in the first 20 minutes, and it doesn't happen very often, but he agreed with us, and he said that he wanted to be a bit more direct in the first 20 minutes and sort of feel the game out. The boys tried to play out of the back, much to the coach's dismay, and he let them have it a little bit at halftime, even following the Drogba goal, which he said, and I quote, saved the team from a bit of a tongue lashing. Here's Barry. Oh, ball sent ahead off the shoulder. Swope Park will keep it. Carlton Belmar. Graham Smith. Colton Storm, who's enjoying I guess we can call it a quasi-unfamiliar position at the outside back. And he actually scored one of the penalties in the shootout, as Joseph Farrell doesn't exactly get a clean clearance to it. Shouts for a handball, not given by our head referee, Guido Gonzalez Jr. Given away, Drogba on the first time, and it's straight into the hands of Eric Dick, who makes his opening save of the night.
Drogba not going to be happy with himself after this effort. Terrible giveaway. See Smith just trying to go back to Eric Dick, and on a different page than his holding midfielder. Thought Juan Kuzain was drifting back. Drogba gets the ball right at the top of the box, pulls the trigger on the left foot. Not enough though.
Belmar gets turned around. Jidic again.
It's a really good look at what Swope Park Rangers are bringing to the table. Very understanding of the system Phoenix Rising is and what they can do. Haji Berry, Carlton Belmar not afraid to interchange and play. You're seeing that right now.
Abdul Salam gets a touch to it. It was an important touch as Barry was driving again. Challenge from Joseph Farrell. JJ trying to get things moving. Didier Drogba with the hold-up play and connecting the dots for Phoenix Rising. Colin Fernandez and Didier Drogba fouled. Remains prone. Looks like he caught a shot to the face.
This looked like Akhmadov stepping into the challenge. Coming out of the back. Just follows through a bit, catches Drogba right on the jawline.
Didier with the opening goal against T2 on Friday. His second ever postseason goal for Phoenix. Only 9 appearances on the season for Didier Drogba, but 5 goals in those 9 appearances. Abdul Salam finding Colin Fernandez. Didier Drogba trying to find Solo. Just skips out of his reach. He actually keeps it in play off the corner flag. But Swope Park will happily take it and build up in the opposite direction. Storm keeps it in play. JJ tried to win it back. Barry, excellent first touch. Haji Barry, around 1 defender, around 2, and makes a mess of the finish. Barely goes out for a goal kick. But I'll tell you what, Haji Barry, not bashful at all about going at these Phoenix defenders 1v1.
It's about the 3rd or 4th time we've seen Barry in a one-on-one situation. This time paired up against Kevon Lambert, dives in. Very uncharacteristic from the holding midfielder. Kevon Lambert needs to do better in that situation, but it's good stuff from Barry. Like the cut in, puts it on the right foot. Just lacking a bit.
There is Paolo Nakamura in his first season with Swope Park after taking over for his mentor a year ago. Mr. Nikolic, who's over with Ottawa Fury right now. And Nakamura had an outstanding playing career himself. Won an MLS Cup, actually spent a little bit of time with Arsenal. The Brazilian enjoyed a terrific career with the LA Galaxy. A number of years with Sporting Kansas City from 2012 to 2016. 95 appearances in his time, well over 200 appearances in Major League Soccer. And has done another terrific job with this group of youngsters, with a few veterans sprinkled in here and there. Winner gets an opportunity to play for the title Best of the West. Unfamiliar territory for the home side, Phoenix Rising. For Swope Park, well, they've been here and they have most certainly done that. Kuzain switching the point of attack. Bilyeu getting forward. Bilyeu knocks it across. Solo gets a touch to it, and a corner kick coming up for the visitors, Swope Park Rangers.
Something you're not going to see that's won't show up on the stat sheet. It's a good step here by Colin Fernandez. Carlton Belmar had actually drifted in from the right side, was making his way right to the top of the 18. Colin Fernandez recognized it, able to backtrack and get in front of the outside winger. Well done there. And that's what you have to be so careful of in those situations, constantly moving in and out of those tight channels.
Corner kicks, as always, brought to you by our friends over at Carvana. Whipped in near post, Didier Drogba back for defensive responsibilities. Only as far as Bilyeu. Goes back out wide. Hernandez, and Didier Drogba again with the defensive play. Here's Jason Johnson, who's floated over to the right wing, looking to turn the defender and move forward. And it's great individual work from Jason Johnson. The one-man hold-up show. And the fans certainly appreciate the effort from the Jamaican.
Some fancy footwork. Well done by JJ. Right on the touchline, just goes right around the defender. Juan Kuzain Kamal cannot keep that high pace. He sits in that holding midfielder position. He's the one who tends to be the maestro for Nakamura in the middle of the field. Their puppeteer that just goes back and forth, not known for his blazing speed. Very difficult to keep up with Jason Johnson in general.
We can see the difference in approaches, Devin. When Swope Park is in clear possession along their back line, Phoenix are just saying, go ahead and have it. When the shoe's on the other foot, Swope Park most certainly want the ball back, and they're going after Phoenix and making life difficult as they're able to win themselves a free kick.
That's the second foul for Akhmadov, so he's going to be right at the front of the referee's mind. Phoenix keep that in their thought process, maybe take advantage of it, push him towards a card. Solomon Asante getting a last-minute touch here. And the Chechnyan just diving in a bit too late. And if you keep an eye on Swope Park Rangers, Tyler, to your point, what they're doing is they're dropping people back, and you get Kuzain who's dropping. Hernandez and Akhmadov are slipping right in front of him. They're drifting a bit further on the offensive side of things, but Belmar and Barry are tucking in as well. So there's not a lot of passing lanes. And when you have Tyler Blackwood, who's all up top by himself chasing, it makes it look like a high press. It's not necessarily all of them exerting the effort, but the shape on the defensive side of things, extremely structured, hard to break down.
Well, we've been caught saying it's too far for Didier Drogba in the past. This is delivery. It's a great ball. Johnson gets ahead to it. And it's held on by Eric Dick. "20 minutes gone here in the Valley of the Sun. 0-0 between Phoenix and the Swope Park Rangers. Colin Fernandez. Joseph Farrell just launches it forward towards the corner flag. And we'll take another look at that set piece opportunity from Phoenix a moment ago.
This is close. Great ball in by Drogba. Upon initial glance, it looked like Chris Cortez might have been brought down. Not enough there. Referee's not going to point to the spot, especially not 20 minutes in, 21 minutes in now. Western Conference semifinal, it's going to have to be more. And Jason Johnson giving out dancing lessons.
And able to win it back and atone for his sins after giving it away. Didier Drogba just fending off the young Felipe Hernandez. Rick Shantz really loving the work from Colin Fernandez in the middle of the field at the moment. Drogba on the turn. Threading the needle. Amadou Dia on the move. The Clemson product. Teeing up the cross. Great delivery. Got a challenge out of Graham Smith. Abdul Salam back for Solo. Asante, a couple shakes and a shimmy. Asante gets towards the byline. Another good delivery. Questions being asked by Phoenix now. JJ able to get through. Johnson! 1-0 to Phoenix! It's JJ again! His second of the postseason!
Sometimes the stars start to align. Feels like it might be that way for Phoenix this evening. Jason Johnson once again trying to throw this squad on his shoulders. It was back and forth stuff. Poor clearance by the back line. Swope Park Rangers should have done better. Colton Storm lets it run across. Jason Johnson gets a bit of a domino effect off the Meg. Questions were asked, answers were given. Jason Johnson puts his team out in front.
Not many smiles better than a Jason Johnson smile. And really, during the regular season, Devin, there wasn't much reason to smile for the Jamaican. Dealt with injury, dealt with the lack of goal scoring, a lack of offensive production, but there's been nothing but the complete opposite in the playoffs, at least for the moment. Getting him on the score sheet, getting Solo on the score sheet in the first round game probably is going to serve Phoenix better than Didier Drogba getting a goal.
100%, and interestingly enough, something that we didn't talk about was Eric Dick. Eric Dick definitely did his homework because on the Jason Johnson goal last week, he gets his quick little touch. He goes near post. Eric Dick started to shield. Any goalkeeper would tell you that that ball regularly is going to be hit to the back post. Eric Dick, thinking that Jason Johnson is going to be a creature of habit, starts to cheat towards the near post. Jason goes far post. Great finish.
How will Swope Park respond? This is very familiar for Swope Park on the road in the postseason, down 1-0. It's the same exact story 6 days ago at Papa Murphy's. And they were resilient and then some against the Quails. It was Kuzain with the equalizer and Barry with the game winner. They're facing a different monster in Phoenix here tonight. Fans, make sure to visit your Valley local supermarket and pick up a Phoenix Rising branded bottle of Arizona Gunslinger. Terrific first touch from Tyler Blackwood, sending Belmar on his way. Carlton Belmar gets it across. It's loose in front. There's the response from Swope. It's lightning quick for the visitors. And it's Tyler Blackwood of all people. 1-1 here in the Valley of the Sun. The former Arizona United man scoring a massive postseason goal.
Fantastic response from Swope Park Rangers. What a hostile environment this is. Great interchanging play, Carlton Belmar. It's not the greatest ball, to be honest. The problem is that both Joseph Farrell and Abdul Salam can't figure out the right communication. Farrell misses it. It bounces off Salam right on the doorstep for Blackwood, who easily just puts it right in the bottom corner.
Well, Tyler Blackwood 27-year-old from London in his first season with Swope. Almost had another opportunity as Waz spills it. Still off of his line, Blackwood going for the spectacular, but in the end, falls very short. But Blackwood offers just something a little bit different than Haji Berry and Carlton Belmar, and he really has been a great compliment up top to them.
He's the black sheep of the bunch, isn't he? Everybody likes to talk about Haji Berry, us included. Carlton Belmar, you look at Juan Kuzain and all the youthful talent that's on this squad. You look at the outside backs, Justin Bilyeu, Colton Storm, Diddich and Smith. I mean, you can literally run through their entire starting 11. Tyler Blackwood's probably one of the bottom parts of your talking points when you get into this lineup, but extremely talented. And the Londoner has done well for his club in this match so far. And almost immediately after the goal, they go out, they get the response, and then they come back right away. You're Carl Wazinski, you get a good opportunity to go after the goal scorer. I put some force into that challenge next time. It's inside the box, so you're able to.
I'll tell you what, the response, or the lack of celebration, I should say, from Swope after scoring that goal, it was almost like business as usual.
Let's go.
Let's keep going.
100%. They're not going to make something out of nothing, and they haven't done anything. It's great that you got it back to level, but you've got another 75 minutes behind you that you got to, 65. Math's not my best forte, you know that. And you got to put something in the tank and keep going. Great to show that you've got that grit and fire in you, but at the same point in time, job to be done.
Drogba's pass goes awry and fouls Akhmatov, and it's going to be a yellow card for Didier Drogba. Akhmatov making maybe a little bit more out of it than he should. Certainly got the attention of the referee. And it was only a matter of time before this game started to get physical, before the goals started to be pumped in, and we're starting to see all of it come to fruition at about the half-hour mark.
Though Didier Drogba hails from Ivory Coast, he tends to play the role of Switzerland afterwards, and he does get stuck in quite hard. That trailing foot right on the ankle. That is nasty. Akhmatov goes to ground for good reason. He's respectful, he understands it. Maybe he caught a glimpse of the replay monitor, understanding exactly how hard he went in on the man from Russia. Not only did he catch him studs up, his ankle actually rolls on the inside.
It was difficult to see at first glance, and Didier immediately went over to him. And he appears to be in some pain. And it is always difficult to tell the fakers from the real ones when it comes to these types of challenges. And obviously, this is a very real stinger for Akhmatov at the moment.
Oh, that is just late stuff by Didier Drogba. Nice move by Akhmatov to get around him, but you can really see him. He's wincing in pain, favoring that left ankle. Last thing you'd want if you're the manager of the Swope Park Rangers is to have to make a change this early, especially to such a vital piece in the middle of the field. A lot of young talent on your squad, but we talked about business as usual after they scored the goal. This lineup is pretty much business as usual, one that he's favored down the stretch. Paolo Nakamura.
If you're Paolo Nakamura and Akhmatov can't go,
Mateus Silva.
Easy as that?
It's for me, 100%. It's the one that they used on a regular basis earlier on this season before Akhmatov came over, but he is noticeably limping.
This is probably going to be more of an experiment than just letting him go on.
You can hear some of the Phoenix fans getting involved, saying, oh, there it is. They don't
They're
exactly
not a huge
agree.
fan of it, but
they also don't have the luxury that we do of seeing the replay and exactly the damage that had been done to him.
first real stoppage in this game that sort of broke up the rhythm. These teams met twice in the regular season this year. It was a wild 2-2 draw here at the Phoenix Rising Soccer Complex for the first meeting. And then the second was probably one of the worst performances that Phoenix has put on this year at Swope. And it was Haji Berry with an early goal in the first, what, Devin, 3 minutes?
Yeah, they silenced him quick.
And then
Controlled
they just,
everything.
Everything.
It's very much what you saw at the beginning of this match, where it's 9, 10, 11 passes, and you go 3 yards forward and 8 yards back, and they just went back and forth. They made Phoenix lay chase. Phoenix was off their game plan, not able to get anything going. It's exactly what Swope Park Rangers want to do. They want to wear you down. And it's that quick fire ability where they can maintain possession and put together a spell of 20, 25 passes to put something in the back of the net. But then you get a long ball into Carlton Belmar, who plays it back across. You get a finish. So 2 very different styles that Swope Park Rangers are able to employ. Phoenix seeing both of those tonight.
That loss against Swope was actually part of back-to-back losses against the Sacramento Republic as well. It's clever from Belmar, getting it back. Carlton Belmar tracked down quickly. Belmar, terrific move, and parried away by Waz. First big save of the night from Carl Wazinski. Here's Colton Storm around Colin Fernandez. A lot of legwork from Belmar now. Gets the cross away. There's Barry. Swope Park, 2 unanswered goals. And it is their main Barry man. 2-1 to the visitors.
Though it doesn't happen on the back end of this play, the front end very similar to the first 2 goals that we saw, where deflection starts to impact the play. First time around it came in, made its way to Barry. And then Belmar on the second chance. Good stuff by Colton Storm. Excellent disposition to have the patience and wherewithal and understand everything that was moving around him. Just plays it in, lets Belmar knock it to the back post. And Haji Berry, the Ghanaian, gets giddy on the back post. How about that finish? Right on the instep. Thank you very much. Swope Park Rangers back in the lead.
Well, it's deja vu all over again. Swope Park on the road in the postseason in 2018. Give up the opening goal to the home side and then promptly score 2 unanswered goals in the first half, no less. And now lead 2-1. Where do we go from here? That's now 19 and counting for Haji Berry in both the regular and postseason, his 2nd of the playoffs. Solo gets a touch along Cortez. Really haven't seen much from him tonight. Now here's Johnson, the goal scorer for Phoenix. JJ finding Didier Drogba. It goes out wide for Dia, plenty of time and space. The delivery lofted up and batted away by Eric Dick. Only as far as Colin Fernandez. Fernandez, Johnson, try to lay it back off for the Illinois native.
That's where Colin Fernandez needs a call when that ball's played back in. When it comes square, they need a call to turn over his left shoulder. Lets that ball run across his body. Could have had a crack at goal.
More space for Phoenix. Swope looked vulnerable after the 2nd goal. Solo finding Didier Drogba. Onside, Drogba back in. It's Cortez! Oh boy, do we have a good one. 4 goals in the first half. Now it's Cortez with the equalizer. Drogba, the orchestrator. It's 2-2.
Amongst all the accolades that Didier Drogba has acquired over the years, he can add tight walking to this one because this is very, very close. Tucked right in behind Amir Didic, able to sneak to the back post. Good stuff by Asante. How about Chris Cortez? Just a moment ago, 100% in agreement with you, Tyler Terrence. Almost non-existent in the run of play in the first half. Didier Drogba says, you know what? Let's change that. teasing ball in. Cortez is clinical on the finish. Able to find the net once again. He's been their talisman all season long. That's lucky number 18 for him.
Unbelievable start to this one in the desert. 4 goals split right down the middle. We've barely played 36 minutes. Devin, who's got the next one?
That's a great question. Normally I have words
You
for
always
everything,
have-
and
you
I'm
always have
speechless
something to
now.
say.
Well, coming into this match, we were having a chat with our Spanish announcers, and they said, you know, maybe it'll be a grind out, a 1-0 game. I said, no way, not happening. Swope Park Rangers coming into this match. This is going to be their 36th match of the night. 35 games. 19 out of their 35 games have been 3 or more goal games. So you had a real good inclination exactly where this match was headed. Not necessarily sure who was going to step up and at what point in time, but it has not disappointed yet.
Well, the Bandidos and Red Fury, I would say loving every minute of it, with the exception of the 26th and the 33rd minute when Swope Park were able to score their goals. But if you're just a USL fan tuning in for some good football, what more could you want? Fernandez. Amadou Dia looking to run right at Colton Storm. Dia wants it on his left peg, cutting back to his right. Dia with great work. Was he fouled? Guido Gonzalez and Devin Kerr both saying no. And a corner coming up for the home side.
He's hunting for it, isn't he? Amadou Dia dancing right on the touchline.
Could he have gotten one outside of the box?
He probably had a better case in that situation. He gets a slight tug right outside the 18, elects to stay on his feet. Can't blame him for it. Right there, could have gone to ground, but instead continues his run. It's good stuff by Carlton Belmar coming over, helping out Colton Storm. Phoenix actually quite lucky to get a corner out of it. That might have gone off Cortez. But keep an eye, every single goal we've seen so far has come from the channels, either a mistake or a bounce. Regardless, it's that inter squad play that you've seen that we talked about at the top of the broadcast that's affected this outcome so far.
Now a corner for Phoenix Rising. The King, near post. Wow, that was Solo who got ahead to it.
Said no one ever. Guy stands 5'2" at best, able to get his head on the near post, but it gives you an idea of the spirit that lives within him.
And look at Phoenix hunting after the ball now. Juan Cusain finding Felipe Hernandez. This one, we'll say, has opened up quite a bit in the past 10 minutes. Devin, is there any chance we're looking at one of those games where you get an abundance of goal scoring in the first 45 minutes, both teams much more conservative in the second 45, and then we have extra time and quite possibly penalties on the horizon?
It's possible. You better believe that both managers are going to address what we just brought up, and it's the outside channel play. Everything from the right and the left for both Phoenix and Swope Park Rangers has affected the run of play in general and the goals.
Here's Abdul Salam towards the byline, gets the cross away, and it's over the head of JJ. Devin, you said it, everything is coming from the wings.
We told you coming at the top of this broadcast that it was going to be everybody on the outside and what challenges they would bring. So much talent in the middle of the field. This time, right back versus left back. Abdul Salam challenging Justin Bilyeu. To be fair, not as gifted talent-wise as Saad Abdul Salam. Did a good job getting a little bit too much pace put to the back post. But the first 3 goals all came from outside. We saw a mistake by Colton Storm. And you're just going to what works. Consistently going right after the same pressure points that you've seen over the opening 42 minutes so far. Both Paolo Nakamura and Rick Shuntz need to figure out a way to calm things down out there, because this will get away from one of the squads. It'll continuously come back to bite you.
Blackman hoping for Cortez. Good header one by Graham Smith. JJ trying to link up with Chris Cortez. And Storm, that's really well done to find Eric Dick. Solomon Asante in for Didier Drogba. And a really important touch from Amir Džidić. He was turned, Devin, and he had already dove in, but got half a big toe to it, and it was just enough.
Chris Cortez was trailing in behind Didier Drogba as well. Some communication issues between both squads that we've seen. Some balls have been played right into the box or right around the top of the box. A few calls, a leave it right over the shoulder. Could have opened up some better opportunities for both these squads.
Well, if you're just tuning in, I really do feel bad for you. 4 goals in a matter of 14 minutes. JJ in the 22nd. Swope Park would then answer with Tyler Blackwood 4 minutes later in the 26th. Then it would be Haji Berry. Swope would take a 2-1 lead off of his second postseason goal in the 33rd. And then 3 minutes later, it's Chris Cortez responding with an equalizer for Phoenix in the 36th. I get all that?
You're there. Well, the Cortez and Berry goal were very similar to each other. Everything down to the byline, just a nice ball lifted to the back post. The big forwards up top, go get it.
Storm switching the point of attack. It's a difficult ball to handle for Blackwood, one of the goal scorers tonight, but he's able to corral it. Here's Hernandez. It's a good effort. Waz had to get a touch to it. Looked very similar to the free kick that Didier Drogba hit last week. Had all sorts of knuckle on it. Waz handled it just a little bit better than Austin Pack handled the free kick. Tell you what, Akhmatov is not exactly popular in the Valley of the Sun right now.
He's been quiet since the injury, though. Has not had a lot of touches on the ball. That bodes well for Phoenix Rising. If you're Swope Park Rangers, you need to find a way to either kind of make him silent in the sense of just consistent run of play, not necessarily pushing numbers forward. See him dropping a bit more. Juan Kuzain stepping up.
Colton Storm again. We're hearing 2 minutes of stoppage time to be added on at the minimum. Excellent interplay between Swope Park, but it's going to be brought back and a free kick for the Swope Park Rangers, and Devin is nodding an improvement.
Referee does well here. Saad Abdul Salam dives in. Justin Bilyeu got worked a bit before when Salam had the ball at his feet. This time, it's his turn. Let me show you what I'm capable of. Dancing. Got around him. Salam dove in, and referee had to blow the whistle. Good set piece opportunity. Grab some momentum right before halftime, and this is where you really see the leaping ability. They'll use Carlton Belmar, Haji Berry. We've seen this before. Haji Berry will actually start on the penalty mark. Right at the last second, he'll step up, and then someone else will try and step in the space behind him. But keep an eye, a lot of times the second ball is what they're trying to find for Haji Berry. Long ball to the back post.
Little stutter step, good ball in. It's Drogba who wins it again. How valuable is he, not only on set pieces offensively, but, I mean, his aerial ability has never been a secret. And he does a terrific job defensively for Phoenix as well. Now a corner kick for Swope. knocking on the door of the halftime whistle. Now it's Amadou Dia having a conversation with Guido Gonzalez Jr. And fair play to the referee. He's done an excellent job in the first half of managing what has been an electric game. And there is the sharpest looking man in all of Phoenix. Felipe Hernandez lofted in. Cortez wins it. Can Phoenix break out in time before the halftime whistle? The answer is no, but what a first half here at the complex. Jason Johnson got things started, but there would be 3 more goals to follow. There'd be 2 unanswered from Swope Park. Cortez would get the equalizer. Devin, what do we make of it all?
It's been very open on the offensive side of things, and it's great from a footballing standpoint, but defensively has to be better. Guys diving into tackles all over the pitch. You can believe both managers at halftime are going to have some stern words on the defensive side of things. Both squads need to figure out how to solidify that. Like to see high pace, high action, but you don't want to see sloppy things in the defensive third.
Well, it's another dollar beer night here at the Phoenix Rising Soccer Complex, and that was always going to mean goals, and in the past, it's always meant a Phoenix Rising win, but they have a formidable opponent, and then some. Swope Park have been nothing short of resilient. It's 2-2 as we head to the halftime show. Don't go anywhere.
At Pruitt's, we love all the traditions of fall. Our favorite is the seasonal lowering of prices. Like this factory closeout 4-piece bedroom set, a cozy $399. And what about this smaller scaled 2-piece sectional? Yours for just $599. Fall savings are here, so visit Pruitt's today at Thomas Road and 34th Street. Pruitt's, proudly serving the Valley for over 65 years.
Hola, ¿qué tal? Yo soy el Dr. José Francisco Carrasco de Happy Kids Pediatrics. Para nosotros, sinceramente, lo más importante es la salud y el bienestar de sus niños.
Happy Kids Pediatrics son clínicas especializadas en pediatría enfocadas en la salud y el bienestar de los niños con localidades cómodas, limpias y cercanas a usted. Podrá ver al mismo proveedor médico constantemente. Aceptamos access, aseguranzas privadas y precios especiales para pacientes sin seguro médico. Happy Kids Pediatrics, sirviendo a la comunidad hispana por más de 18 años.
We first got involved with the Rising last season. Right away, we made a really cool debit card and a great new kids account. We're bringing more soccer culture into our branches as well. It's a work in progress.
If you just sign that first
I'm
one
so
there.
sorry. I don't feel comfortable signing that.
I don't get the math here.
Was this the same car we talked about?
What's this dealer preparation fee?
I'm so sorry. This just is not.
What we talked about.
Get the car without the car salesman. Carvana, the new way to buy a car.
Halftime here at Phoenix Rising Soccer Complex, and if you got up for a moment to get a beverage, take a walk, whatever it might be, we really don't blame you, because this is probably the only time during the course of this broadcast that you'll be able to step away and guarantee that you won't see a goal, as we have had 4 of them in the first 45 minutes being scored in 14-minute span. As we'll take a look at what's going on in the USL Cup postseason. On both the West and East side of the Mississippi River, Devin, the winner of this game, obviously off to the conference final. Swope, it would be their 3rd straight. For Phoenix, it would be their 1st ever. Orange County and Reno, the other side of the Western Conference semifinal. Meanwhile, in the Eastern Conference, New York Red Bulls 2 again taking down Charleston Battery in the opening round. Bethlehem Steel. How about Brendan Burke's young squad coming away with an 8-7 penalty kick shootout? Bethlehem went perfect in penalties. Raymond Lee missed the frame, and the Bethlehem Steel with their 1st ever playoff win, something that Phoenix is all too familiar with. Louisville City taking care of Indy 11. And then SC Cincinnati had a scare, and they're going to have another one against John Wolinek's side. But we'll take a look at what the schedule is going to look like tomorrow, Devin. This is the first of the conference semifinals, and we have a triple header tomorrow. It starts with FC Cincinnati and New York Red Bulls 2 at 1 Mountain Standard Time. Then it's John Hackworth and the Purples looking to defend the throne against Brendan Burke and the Bethlehem Steel, Orange County and Reno. Devin, if you could only watch one game here, and you're going to have the luxury of being able to watch all three, which one would you pick?
To be fair, the best quality game will probably be the Louisville City Bethlehem Steel game because of the way that the teams have formed. The game that I would like to watch is the FC Cincinnati New York Red Bull 2 game. Knowing what John Wolinek's squad has been able to do, they're giant killers, and they can do it with the best of them. They can also go dormant of sorts, but I really like their chances at Nippert going to FC Cincinnati. I see this as the end of the streak. I see FC Cincinnati going down.
Well, we know who Phoenix is going to be rooting for in the Orange County Reno game if they're able to sneak through this conference semifinal, but we're going to step aside. When we come back, we have some really great stuff right around the corner, including second half kickoff. Don't go anywhere. It's been a record-breaking season for Phoenix Rising Football Club, but you can bet they are not anywhere close to done yet. We're going to step aside yet again. We'll take a look at the best of both the East and West quarterfinals a week ago. He's going to hit it. It's a great effort, and it's in! Didier Drogba, the opener for Phoenix. JJ wants it on his left, and he's got it! JJ is back. Asante waits for it. Solo. Third. Phoenix on to the Western Conference semifinals. Looking for a shot. Corbin Bone rips it. And Corbin Bone does it again. Right back to the middle. Bourgeois shot. Nashville has tied the match in the 124th minute. Goes high and sends it over the frame. Steps to the ball. FC Cincinnati has a playoff win.
Brown on the top of the 8, pushed it in the back of the net at the death.
Looking to set himself up for the strike is there. The Red Bulls take the match.
Brett looking for a runner, he has him, and a score! Nenko slides it through, here comes Moore, into the area, and it's in! Over to Holland, crossbar, and it's in! Will he strike it? He will, and it's in! Ray Lee, left foot, missed it, and Bethlehem Steel with a penalty kick shootout victory.
On the ground by Jimenez and ripped in. Louisville scores. Davis tries to clip it back across. Illich. McCabe, his best strike in all his years. Wall ahead. Saad gets one for Indy 11. Cameron Lancaster will try to dip this in. Oh, he did it again. St. Louis crashing numbers. Ball gets through. C10, 1-0. Now another ball whipped in. C10. This is Quinn in front. Hat trick. Michael Seaton sets up Bierman. Bierman, 4-0. They are running riot in Irvine.
Birovichev strikes first in the 16th minute. Working it in. We'll send a hard ball in, and it's into the net. The game is tied. Cutting it back, here's a chance for Barry. So the number 2 seed goes down here.
Well, the first round of the USL Cup playoffs certainly was entertaining. If the first half of the first match of the conference semifinals is any indication of how the three other matches are going to go, well, it's going to be a lot of fun. Let's just leave it at that. Some news and notes from around the United Soccer League. How about Lansing Ignite FC announced as one of the founding members of USL League One? Of course, part of the USL rebrand, which is going to feature USL D3, now will be known as League One. They'll also acquire the PDL, the fourth spot in the American soccer pyramid. That will be known as League Two. Nearly 60,000 fans across the United Soccer League coming out to show their support and witness some fantastic postseason single elimination football. We'll take a deeper look at the rebrand of the United Soccer League, and really it's just quite simple. USL will now be known as the USL Championship. Nothing's going to change there. Division 2. Division 3, which was always going to come in 2019, will now be known as USL League 1. And then, of course, the acquirement of the Premier Development League, which will now be known as League 2. And this is a big one because it is part of that hashtag Path to Pro. 70% of MLS draftees have at one point played in the USL League 2 and what was formerly known as the PDL. We're going to step aside yet again, but when we come back, we have a very, very special guest here at the Phoenix Rising Soccer Complex. You're not going to want to miss it. Don't go anywhere. Second half kickoff right around the corner as well.
We first got involved with the Rising last season. Right away, we made a really cool debit card and a great new kids account. We're bringing more soccer culture into our branches as well. It's a work in progress.
If you just sign that first
I'm
one
so
there.
sorry.
we'll
I don't feel comfortable signing that.
I don't get the math here.
Was this the same car we talked about?
What's this dealer preparation fee?
I'm so sorry. This just is not.
What we talked about.
Get the car without the car salesman. Carvana, the new way to buy a car.
Worried about your kids' health care? Sick of doctor's offices with no appointments available? Let Happy Kids Pediatrics help. Our hand-picked staff is carefully cultivated to provide professional and compassionate care when your child needs it. Plus, we happily accept access, private insurance, and even offer special pricing for patients with no health insurance. With over 18 years providing quality health care to Valley children in our convenient Valley-wide locations, you can trust your child's health care to Happy Kids Pediatrics.
At Pruitt's, we love all the traditions of fall. Our favorite is the seasonal lowering of prices. Like this factory closeout 4-piece bedroom set, a cozy $399. And what about this smaller scaled 2-piece sectional, yours for just $599? Fall savings are here, so visit Pruitt's today at Thomas Road and 34th Street. Pruitt's, proudly serving the Valley for over 65 years.
Almost ready for second half kickoff here at the Phoenix Rising Soccer Complex as the fans are enjoying some scintillating football, dollar beers, and really just some terrific weather in the desert. We'll take a look at how the first half went down. Spoiler alert, all these highlights are going to be goals. Let's get things started with Jason Johnson. Devin, Eric Dick cheated over to the near post, and you know what happens when you cheat, you usually get caught.
You could see him looking. Colton Storm doesn't clear the first one, and when it comes back around, Jason Johnson just gets a nice little touch off the inside of the outside back, able to pick out that far post. But it was good. I mean, again, Eric Dick definitely did cheat to the near post. He definitely watched the replay from last week and what Jason Johnson was able to do. It'd be very easy for Swope Park Rangers to put their head down and go quietly into the night. That wasn't the case. They were going to battle back, and they did it almost immediately. Belmar, you're going to hear this a couple times, to the byline. Not the greatest of service into the middle of the box. And now, some questionable depending on the side of Phoenix Rising. Joey Farrell can't get to it. Abdul Salam gets a touch, falls right in front of Blackwood. Blackwood to the back post, 1-1.
So that was 4 minutes after the Jason Johnson goal. Tyler Blackwood, who we mentioned before, used to play for Arizona United, which of course now is Phoenix Rising Football Club. So it's 1-1. We think that probably this is how it's going to be going into halftime. Carlton Belmar and company had other thoughts. Initial chance cleared away, but Devin, it's Belmar again with great work. A lot of running in this sequence, but it pays off. Haji Berry with the go-ahead goal.
It's all about the bounce that comes to Belmar on the first one. He gets the shot off, but then he has the patience to wait it out. Colton Storm, weathering the storm of Phoenix Rising defenders, just lays it off to his right midfielder, serves it to the back post. Barry, we're supposed to be, they get back out in front with the 2-1 lead. And the difficulty of this finish cannot be understated because he takes it with the inside of his foot when Waz has already drifted to the near post. Has to be clinical in execution, exactly what it was from Barry. Phoenix, just like Swope Park Rangers, does not put their heads down. They service almost the exact same platter that they got from Swope Park Rangers. Ball to the top of the 6. Cortez gets an absolutely fantastic finish right at the top. They get it even, and it was just end-to-end stuff, especially towards the close of the first half.
There was a point in the first half, Devin, when Swope Park had almost a 70-20. I mean, I know that's only 90%, but it was somewhere around there. Again, math not my forte. You know, we need to get some sort of statistic person in here to help us out with that.
We're brothers.
I know. We'll work through it together, or not. But really just the first half comes down to the fact that it was the wild, wild west. And we told you before that we have a special guest here at the Phoenix Rising Soccer Complex. Some of you may have heard of Teddy, 6-year-old from Tucson who invited 32 of his classmates to a pizza party, and unfortunately, nobody showed up. And of course, Phoenix Rising FC reach out to Teddy. Here's Jose Bosch, the PR director for Phoenix, having a ball with Teddy, and look how happy Teddy is to be rocking his Phoenix kit, taking picture with Billy Forbes and Devin Vega pregame, as well as Frankie Muniz. Who needs your classmates? You have 7,000 plus fans here at Phoenix Rising that'll be your best friends and eat pizza with you. Unbelievable from Phoenix.
Shame on them, but good stuff. Excellent job for Teddy. I mean, how about the light on that kid's face? He is going to remember this for the rest of his life.
And here is Devin Kerr's favorite artist in this booth, as well as one of my personal all-time favorite athletes, Larry Fitzgerald. Jordan Sparks is somewhere in the building. Can't tell if that's 100% her. She's here. Larry Fitzgerald is there, and he's in the picture. The Stars have quite literally come out here to the Phoenix Rising Soccer Complex. And Devin, the traction that Phoenix has been getting on social media has been incredible this entire week. And really, it's been long overdue for this entire city to embrace professional football, and finally it's starting to come to fruition.
To be fair, it's one of the largest markets that does not have a Major League Soccer franchise. Phoenix is trying to change the thought process about that, but the fan base here has done a fantastic job. They consistently come up, they show up, and they give you an idea of exactly what type of football they want to be played here. Very happy about their boys, very spirited, but some work left to be done if they want to experience it for another 45 minutes. Swope Park Rangers have proved a formidable foe. A lot of stuff going on in the final 45.
All pizza and dollar beers aside, let's get back to the matter at hand. A spot in the Western Conference Final on the line. Swope Park and Phoenix level at 2 apiece after a wild first 45 minutes. Tyler Terrence along with Devin Kerr, buckle up. This one's going to be exciting. Fernandez gets a touch to it. Jidic, pressured by Cortez. And we started to see Phoenix really moving their line of confrontation up at the end of the first half, Devin.
And they need to. And it was a good look just a second ago because as the ball gets sprayed out, Saad does a good job stepping up and he wins the header. The outside midfielder, Haji Berry, had tried to push up, thought maybe he could pick the pocket. Saad Abdul-Salam pushed it up. Solomon Asante regains possession. As he puts this ball in the middle of the park, he needs then to peel off and push down into the channel. The high lines that these outside backs are playing for Swope Park Rangers, you can take advantage of that. So if Phoenix want to try and push pace and push numbers like we saw in the first half, continue to do so. Put the ball down in the corner, let the supporting cast drift back into the middle.
Boy, it's great strength from Carlton Belmar. So there's a player down on the far side. The ball played out by Akhbatov. And it looks like it's Jason Johnson. He just ran into a brick Carlton Belmar wall. And JJ is not exactly frail, but Belmar he's a big boy.
He's shielding him off here. Just the brunt of it right on that left shoulder in the chest plate area. Jason Johnson trying to get a little shoulder charge in on Carlton Belmar. Very difficult to win that type of battle.
Pressure again from Phoenix. Felipe Hernandez turning out of the pressure. Cortez is there, puts in a clean challenge. Fernandez, JJ, service isn't great. It falls for Lambert, takes a deflection, and Phoenix have a third. We pick up right where we left off in the first half, and it's Phoenix who lead 3-2, and it's Kevon Lambert, the Jamaican, who gives them a lead. But the way that this game has been going, it probably won't last for long. For the moment, Phoenix 3, Swope Park 2.
Gritty stuff from the Jamaican in the middle of the park. Have to respect the build-up by Phoenix Rising. Rick Shantz told us that he would pick and choose his moments when he would get involved in the press. This was one of them. Phoenix Rising playing a high line, forcing Swope Park Rangers to play out of the back. Graham Smith trying to connect with Rasenbek Akhmatov in the middle of the park. He turns it over, and then the boys in black go to the work. Great ball right down to the end line, makes its way back up to Lambert. Definitely not the best finish we've seen from the Jamaican in the past, but as we've seen on almost every single goal tonight, it comes down to a tiny deflection that makes its way into the top of the net to push the home squad back in front.
Now it's Swope's turn to answer the bell. Blackman cuts it out. Lambert turning out of pressure. And he is going to be an absolute superstar, Devin. He's 21 years of age, is already getting significant calls up to the Jamaican national team with the Reggae Boys.
Keep an eye on him, because he just picked up a knock and he's wincing a bit. You can see him got a little limp in his step.
Oh, Cortez picked up a knock on the challenge that led to the Phoenix goal. And Devin, you mentioned the deflections. I can't remember a game this season where we've seen so many deflections that have led to a goal, because a deflection, it's just that, it's a deflection. It can go any which way, but all of them have been beneficiary to the team that's attacking.
I've never seen anything like it. It's the craziest thing you've seen in the ball. Consistently just bouncing in the right direction. The attacking team, the recipients of the positive bounce on their end.
Here's Akhmatov. And it's going to be a handball. Akhmatov was actually issued a yellow card right before Phoenix were able to score their third goal of the night. Bandidos and the Red Fury doing what they do best. Singing, chanting, dancing the entire 90 minutes. We'll have more on them in a moment as Graham Smith able to find Carlton Belmar. A heavy touch though. Johnson thought he had won a handball off of Belmar. Guido Gonzalez Jr. says no. Here's Billiou in the opposite direction. Can't handle it. Solomon Asante, who Devin got caught a number of times, tracking a little bit too far forward, as Cortez could be in the other way, dig off of his line. JJ brings it down. But Solo Devin has done an excellent job of tracking back defensively, and it has made Phoenix so much more stout at the back and so much more difficult to break down when he does track back.
That's a difficult game to play as well. We've given a lot of credit to the outside backs of Swope Park Rangers.
Oh, Didier, no, don't do it. He had to take it. Didn't really have much other choice. the response time after the opening goal from Jason Johnson to the Blackwood equalizer was 4 minutes. So far, so good for Phoenix in terms of hanging on. Barry, Bilyeu. Phoenix thought it went out of play. Assistant referee doesn't agree. Belmar skips away from Jason Johnson. These two actually overlapped at Virginia Commonwealth University. Can you imagine that front line in Division I men's soccer of Carlton Belmar and Jason Johnson? Belmar again. Barry coming deep to receive it. Goes back out wide. Everything has come from the wings. Falls for Hernandez. Around Solomon Asante. Foul right at the edge of the area. Solo's going to make his case, but probably the right call, Devin.
Solomon Asante needs to know better in situations like this. Whether you agree with the foul or not, the referee blowing his whistle here, you make it a lot easier on him by putting yourself in such a precarious situation. Hernandez, though young at heart, a veteran in situations like this, and he knows exactly what he's supposed to do. Just lets it drift right across his body, and it is a foul. Asante pleading his case. Even you get a tiny touch, it's exactly what he has to do. And now, this is one of the most difficult spots for a goalkeeper. Right in the middle of the box. Difficult for a right footer or a left footer. You don't know which way it's going to go. You've got the wall blocking your vision in front of you. And it's not just your guys. Guys from Swope Park Rangers are going to step in as well.
Well, they've added about 3 of their own players to the already 5 or 6 man Phoenix wall. Akhmatov, Felipe Hernandez, and Juan Kuzain on top of it. It's Hernandez, and it is straight over everybody, over the Banditos. And into Old Town Scottsdale. Not the best from the 19-year-old. Well, again, if you're just tuning in, you've missed a lot. JJ with the opener. 2 unanswered from Swope Park. Chris Cortez would level it about 9 minutes before halftime, and Kavan Lambert, after a wicked deflection, with the most recent development in the scoring summary. And our producer, Sharni Yerke, staying on top of all of this as usual. Barry out wide, Belmar. Hernandez, that's Akhmatov, and thumped away. Phoenix just look a lot more determined defensively in the second half, Devin.
Sometimes the determination isn't necessarily the only defining factor, though. A lot of it's chasing. Some good connectivity by Swope Park Rangers on the right side of the pitch just a second ago. Amadou Dia constantly having to tuck in and also account for the overlapping run by Carlton Belmar. Very difficult task to challenge him all night long. That also goes to the communication that we talked about earlier on in the broadcast, though, with Tristan Blackman, and again, loads of talent, loanee from LAFC, but not regularly involved in the squad. And you know, that chemistry will be lacking when you're used to having Mike Defont over your left shoulder. You can read each other's body language a bit. That's not the case tonight.
Hernandez overlapping, stops on a dime. Hernandez went for goal himself, and it's wide. But Tristan Blackman actually left, and I don't think a lot of people in Phoenix expected him to come back after returning to his parent club, Los Angeles FC in Major League Soccer. But he comes back about 48 hours ago and makes it the start for Phoenix, and the Banditos, as well as the Red Fury, doing their part to help Phoenix hang on to this 1-goal lead and perhaps push them to a second. Hernandez again. Haji Barry working on Saad Abdul Salam. Akhmatov, great defending from Fernandez. It stays with Swope. More menacing play from the visitors. Dia gets a touch to it, deep throw in for Swope Park. Good delivery in, Abdul Salam is there. Kuzain brings it down, Asante breaks it up. Phoenix are treading in treacherous waters, but Swope Park have now called off the dogs. Fernandez almost got away with one. Barry cleans it up. Belmar thought about it, now is gonna let it rip. And it's over the supporter section again. And Phoenix have gifted Swope Park a number of second, third, and fourth opportunities. They just haven't capitalized.
Twice in the span of about 15 seconds. Questionable decisions. One from the near side by Solomon Asante coming back across the middle of the field. Could have released it sooner. The second one by Fernandez trying to dissect the midfield. Bring the ball all the way across. Unnecessary. Could have just played a quick and easy 2 or 3 yard ball right in front of him. That's the lack of decision making that we saw from both squads in the first half. It's definitely carried over.
JJ, was he fouled? Referee not interested. And the late challenge from JJ, that's more retaliation than anything. It's Graham Smith who's down. And now JJ will get a stern talking to from our head referee, Guido Gonzalez Jr. And you mentioned Didier Drogba usually plays Switzerland after these types of plays, but he's never afraid to let the opposing player know if he senses that simulation is a part of the game, because there's just no room for that, and he's one of the bigger advocates for it.
Jason Johnson might have an argument here. You take another look at what went on in the first challenge. Does come in from behind a bit by Colton Storm, but then he lets his emotions get the best of him. Comes back around, gets stuck in on Graham Smith.
No need for that.
No, he needs to be smarter.
Phoenix, if the result holds, will take on the winner of Orange County and Reno. Orange County are to win. It'll be in Irvine, the Western Conference Final. If Reno are to pull off another upset, it'll be here at the complex, 7 o'clock Mountain Standard Time tomorrow. And Asante was fouled. But Phoenix, after scoring the goal, Devin, in the past 10-15 minutes, it has been a bit sloppy.
Asante lucky again that Bilyeu decides to dive in here, because could have easily just stood the outside midfielder up. It's really not the crisp decision-making that we've seen from the midfielders in the past. Gives you a good look right here. Asante, don't need that many touches. First touch out in front of you. Second one should have been back to Saad right away. Instead, he tries to go for the second and the third. Again, the youngster, Justin Bilyeu, diving in with a tackle on the end of it. It's just kind of been the MO from everybody all night long. Don't want to just jump on Phoenix Rising. You've seen a lot of it from Swope Park Rangers as well. It's nice to see a bunch of goals and some emotion that has been put in this kind of makeshift rivalry game over the past year, year and a half. But defensively, definitely not as sound as we've seen from both squads in the past.
Abdul Salam. Looked like a travel over the line right in front of Rick Shantz, and indeed it did. That's great work from Blackman. Dia setting JJ on his way. How good is that? And Johnson will win a throw-in for Phoenix. Much better from the home side.
I don't know if you saw it or not, but Haji Berry on the near touchline, when they called the ball out, he brings it back into the run of play, gives it away. So he was lobbying with Rick Shantz for the ball to be out of bounds because he had turned it over to Phoenix Rising.
Well, it's the best way for nobody to notice your mistake or your turnover in your own defensive third.
Yeah.
Dia's delivery's low. They want a handball. There's been a couple of shouts on either end. As Fernandez gets an important touch to it, Abdul Salam, that's an acrobatic way to keep it. Now it's Solomon Asante with room to operate. Usually spells danger for the opposition. Solo, straight into Eric Dick. And Swope Park starting to falter a little bit. It's an uncharacteristic heavy touch from Colton Storm.
Good stuff from Solomon Asante, but no real place to go. Billia pushed him to the end line. Yiddish was right there. Eric Dick had it lined up.
Are you happy with that look on that tight of an angle? Because Rick Shantz has told us on a couple of occasions that his side has worked on, and he spoke to them about taking shots from acute angles.
Yeah, let him hit it. As a defender, you never want him to get a shot off, but you push him to the corner of the 18. Talk about the people that are positioned right where you want them to be. The back line was there, the goalkeeper's lined up. If he's gonna beat you, it's gonna have to be something spectacular. Not saying that Solomon Asante is not possible for him to do that, and he's more than capable of it, but some points in time in a game, you just look and you have to give a golf clap and say, well done.
Colin Fernandez called for the foul. Free kick coming up for Swope Park. Officially in the 66th minute. The last goal coming in the 48th minute. Free kick on the way, and Waz can handle it cleanly. Car get dirty on the ride into the stadium. Make sure to visit our partners at Jackson Car Wash and show your Phoenix Rising ticket for a free car wash. Free $6 car wash value is valid at any of their 11 Valley location up to 2 weeks after tonight's match. Asante winning his career-high second header of the night. That's not a real statistic. I made it up.
You had me. Hello.
La, la, la. It's amazing. In the heat of the moment, Western Conference semifinal, you're still able to make jokes and quote movies. Never change, ever. '67th minute, Devin. Haven't seen any substitutions yet. If you're Paolo Nakamura or Rick Shantz, what might you be thinking about?
Well, for Rick Shantz, you would expect something up top at some point in time. Not sure that he's going to want to come off, but you would think that he would probably go after Didier Drogba. Never does. And at that point in time, do you let Cortez drop into where Didier Drogba is standing and put Frater up top? That would probably be the easiest one, but you don't necessarily need to go goal hunting, though their defense does start from the number 9 position up top.
Asante wins it back. Looking for an option. Plays it simple for Cortez. Trying to switch the point of attack. It's inch perfect for Johnson. Has to go and chase it though. JJ already with 1 goal tonight. 2 in the postseason. Johnson is working on Colton Storm, almost able to pull off the nutmeg. Lambert, that's an important win. Didier Drogba the curler, and Jidic clears it away. But I'll tell you what, Swope Park playing with fire in their own defensive third.
Good step by Phoenix Rising. Didier Drogba actually had Lambert picked out on the trailing run to the front post. Lambert stopped dead in his tracks though.
Amadou Dia does possess a longer throw-in. We won't label it a long throw-in. Didier will try to hold things up. Plenty of contact from Haji Berry right in front of a slew of Phoenix fans. Boy, how good has Tristan Blackwood been tonight? Lambert let it run through, a little bit of miscommunication. And you're starting to see some of these younger central midfielders from Swope, Devin. Maybe the moment getting to them a little bit. Juan Cusain, Felipe Hernandez. Lambert.
The youth are impressionable, aren't they?
Phoenix up a goal, 70th minute. 20 minutes away from a Western Conference final appearance. Happy to let Swope build out of the back. They'll face the winner of Orange County or Reno if Kevon Lambert's goal stands. Drogba wins it back. Now gets the foul. Better late than never from the referee. Devin, you're pointing this near side.
That ball should have been hit 5 seconds ago. Give it to Joey Farrell, come the other direction. Now you're just gonna put one up in, let somebody go get it. You have the opportunity to retain possession, why not do so?
Cortez wins it, almost able to find Asante.
That's something where you get 20 minutes from the end of a match. I get the idea, you still wanna go hunting a bit, but at the same point in time, they're giving it to you. Just drop off as a center back, knock the ball to his feet, and then go the other direction. May not be that much, but it's a solid 30, 45 seconds. Plus, it gives you an opportunity to see how they're gonna shift with the run of play, because maybe you pick something up on the other way.
Dick, again, making a mess of it out of the back. Fortunate that Biliou was stationed somewhat appropriately for the miscue. Abdul Salam getting stuck in. Same goes for Lambert. Somehow, Felipe Hernandez comes away with it, and Abdul Salam again going to ground. Akhmatov. Now it's Haji Berry. Great sliding challenge from Jason Johnson. It'll be a corner for the visitors, but it really has been a defending by committee from Phoenix here in the second half. Swope Park time and time again, really dating back to 2016 have always found a way, always found a response. The fault for Bilyeu. Gets the cross away. There were a lot of white jerseys in there, but the delivery didn't find one of them. Back in from Colton Storm. And Cortez cleans up the pieces. As you can see, the possession clearly in favor of the visitors, but Devin, you said at the beginning of the game, it was probably going to be that way, and Phoenix were more than happy to have it unfold the way that it has.
The Swope Park Rangers have just hit the 500 mark for passes.
What else is new?
I mean, that is just astronomical. But again, out of the 500, you're looking at probably 350, maybe even more, that are just side to side. So that's not a bad thing, by the way, because a lot of times you can lure teams in. You want to slowly bring them in the direction that you want. So it's easy to kind of set up the other team. Rick Schantz told us that, look, when we don't have the ball, we're going to try and do the same thing. We'll lure their outside backs in and then trying to capitalize on the space behind them. They've been able to do it. Unfortunately, they've got a taste of their own medicine as well.
Barry, one-man wrecking crew for Swope Park Rangers, keeps it. Akhmatov. Encouraging Jinic forward. Here's Carlton Belmar. A couple of nice step overs. Important touch from Colin Fernandez. Jinic. "15 minutes remain. Colton Storm. Akhmatov. And after all those passes, Devin, probably a wasted possession.
Not a terrible ball played in. Carlton Belmar wasn't on the same page, though. He was all the way on the back post, hadn't made one of those patented runs we've seen him do in the past or this evening. Credit to Carl Wazinski as the ball just came across the middle. He recognized that there was really no true threat in front of him. Let it run over the end line, and that's kind of that gamesmanship you see. Extra 20, 30 seconds, ticking off the clock.
Blackwood. Might have been intended for Haji Berry. Not exactly sure why Colton Storm is getting the majority of the Boo Birds from the Phoenix faithful. It was initially Akhmatov in the first half. Akhmatov finding Juan Kuzain. Belmar. Bilyeu. Delivery denied by Saad Abdul Salam. But Phoenix are chasing at the moment. Phoenix wanted a foul throw. You'll rarely see it called.
You can't do this for the final 15 minutes of a game. They'll find a way to pick you apart. You go back and forth, that's fine, but they're eventually gonna find a channel that they like. Rick Schantz talks about playing through windows, and a lot are opening and closing right now, but eventually one of them is gonna shut really hard and shatter right in Phoenix's face. They need to figure out a way to get on the ball a bit more.
It slips through. Kuzain. Held by Waz. Devin, could part of it be somewhat calculated in the sense that maybe you give them possession for 5 to 10 minutes and then in the final 10 minutes really get after them and try to get your insurance goal?
They're not going to sit this much. They'll definitely sit back, but They're not trying to gift opportunities 20 yards from goal. Just line them up against Carl Wazinski. That's where the energy level needs to be a bit higher from the guys in the middle of the park. You need Didier Drogba and Chris Cortez to continue their output that we've seen defensively.
Golden Storm able to get rid of a pesky Jason Johnson. Here's Blackwood, Blackman recovering. Here's Kuzain, Cortez, that's a clean challenge. Somehow Kuzain finds a way to keep it amongst the visitors. Big sweeping ball. Drogba picks it out, but has it stripped by Justin Bilyeu. Header won by Fernandez. Swope asking more questions. Akhmatov. Belmar. Belmar gets the deflection. Still Belmar, poked away by Kavan Lambert. Now it's Cortez winning it. Finding Drogba. Didier fending off Bilyeu with one arm. Keeping balance with the other. Asante is fouled, and that's a much-needed free kick for Phoenix Rising. They're finding a way to get it done. You have to imagine that conversation is about who the first sub is going to be.
Going to be a fly on the wall for that, huh? Penny for a thought, boys. I'll tell you someone, they won't make this change, but something that would be interesting that would really cause Swope Park Rangers a lot of trouble playing out of the back is putting on Devin Vega. They're not going to do it because he's a midfielder player, but
he would run for 10 minutes.
Nickname is the Energizer Bunny. Let him run around up top. He's going to give you an offensive option. Defensively, you're not risking much whatsoever. He'll be a thorn in the side if possible.
Phoenix could be looking for an insurance goal. Cortez finding Solo. Asante shot blocked by Jidic. It'll fall for Fernandez. Here's Kavan Lambert. He's got the game winner in his back pocket. Drogba. Not exactly fleet of foot, but getting it done. Didier cutting it back, looking to work on Bilyeu, but one too many. However, it's Fernandez again, who is the safety outlet for Phoenix in the attacking third. Blackman. Didier will settle it. Finding Asante. Solo driving forward. Heavy legs from Swope Park. Asante, Cortez. Oh, he missed it. It's great interplay between Solo and Cortez.
Swope Park Rangers look all out of sorts. Justin Bilyeu, Graham Smith doesn't shift over. Juan Kuzain in the holding midfielder position. He sits in that 6 for a reason. You got to slide over, young man. Excellent opportunity for Chris Cortez, who can't close it out.
Less than 10 minutes remaining, plus stoppage time. Is there one last twist to the tail? Haji Berry. Belmar wants it. Goes out wide for Storm. Blackman is there, makes sure of it this time. Now we're getting word that the first substitute of the game, not just for either team, is going to be Wilson Harris, the teenager from Los Angeles. And he'll come on and replace Felipe Hernandez. And the substitute brought to you by Capriati Sandwich Shop, fanatically delicious subs.
Paolo Nakamura giving Hernandez a bit of a pat on the back. It's really not the best we've seen offensively from Hernandez, but did a good job maintaining the shape that is the idealistic thought process of Swope Park Rangers in the middle of the field.
So it's actually Akhmatov who comes off. The fourth official showed it in an incorrect fashion. We do apologize. Meanwhile, here's Didier Drogba. Somehow finds Jason Johnson, and the delivery right at Eric Dick. Harris chasing after it, but Tristan Blackman, a tremendous athlete, able to make the play. A couple of teenagers going after it in a Western Conference semifinal. As the effort takes a deflection, but off of a member of Swope Park Rangers, as Phoenix Rising FC have outdone themselves yet again. 7,707. Capacity is 6,200. So we'll let you do the math on that. Professional football alive and well in the Valley of the Sun. It's another club record. And they beat their previous, which was last week against T2, by more than 400. As Jason Johnson remains on the ground, and this could force Rick Schantz's hand in the first substitute for the home side. And again, remember, if Phoenix are to win, they'll take on Orange County or Reno in the Western Conference Final. The winner of that game will determine the site. If it's Orange County and Aiden Quinn to prevail, it'll be in Irvine. If it's Reno in 1868, it'll be right here at the Phoenix Rising Soccer Complex for a right to play in the USL Cup Final. Listen to this crowd, sensing a Western Conference Final on the horizon. Devin, at what point does Swope Park have to get away from what's made them so successful and just become more direct? Because the chances, especially if you're playing like that, are going to become more and more finite.
We've seen them put in situations like this in the past, and they don't usually get away from it. They stick to their bread and butter. They trust the process that they put themselves through, and they think that's the best way for them to win. Everybody's got their own recipe for success. For Swope Park Rangers, it's possession-based football, quick touches around the field, but over the last 15, 20 minutes, you can just see that they're really lacking on the minuscule things, the things that are second nature to everyone, the quick little balls in and out, the routine passes, if you will. And you just saw a good look at it right there. You've got no pressure whatsoever, and ball just gets knocked out. That's the 5th or 6th time in the second half we've seen the visitors do it.
Johnson just out of the reach of Chris Cortez. But it's Kavan Lampert stepping forward in timely fashion. Asante, terrific first move. And Farrell just gets it away. Lambert bringing it down. He's offside.
That was a sweet little first touch by Kavan Lambert on the ball he brought down.
Yeah.
I'm just going to put this right here. You're welcome.
Abdul Salam.
Don't start playing kickball. That's bad news, Bears. Don't go down that path.
Knocking on the door of stoppage time. Cortez can't get there. Juan Cruzane beats it to it. Let's go Phoenix is the chant from the rising faithful. Colton Storm. Delivery comes in, Barry, and Waz can collect. The chances left for Swope Park to equalize minimal. Didier Drogba. The crowd wants him to let it fly. He's waiting for reinforcements. Ends up losing it in the end. Blackwood. Fernandez, that is really well done. Shielding off one of the best goal scorers in the league, Haji Barry. Johnson gets tangled up.
It's a good look at Colin Fernandez in your near screen, trying to keep his calves nice and light, having a bit of cramping issues.
Now we're going to have another substitution. This time Felipe Hernandez will come out, and it's Sebastian Cruz coming on. Substitute brought to you by Capriati Sandwich Shop, fanatically delicious subs. We're hearing 3 minutes of stoppage time. Phoenix have yet to make a sub. Bilyeu. And it's Cruz called for the foul. Didier Drogba holds on to his back. He's taken a couple of knocks and gone 90 plus. And now we're getting word that Billy Forbes, the Turks and Caicos man, is going to come on and replace Jason Johnson. And indeed, that will be the case. JJ got things started in the 22nd minute, his second of postseason. Certainly wasn't the game winner, but a terrific finish in the end.
It's always nice when you step into these situations, you're trying to find your rhythm, and how about from the Reggae boy, getting it going early. He was more than happy to put Phoenix out, trying to get some momentum going for his squad. Swope Park would respond almost immediately. Phoenix Rising has had an answer of their own every single time they've been asked.
And JJ gets a warm round of applause for his efforts tonight, and they were spectacular. A lot of love from assistant coach Blair Gavin, goalkeeper coach Corey Robertson, but the job is not done. 90 seconds remain. The Bandidos are ready to party. The same goes for the Red Fury. The same goes for all of Phoenix. Belmar trying to get away from Lambert, a difficult task. No foul called. And Lambert wins a throw-in. Questionable, Devin?
That's very questionable. Good look at the referee's placement. He's behind and can't really see the nudge, shielded by some of the players.
And that's a foul from Colin Fernandez. Nothing questionable about that. All hands on deck defensively for the home side, up 3-2 in the 3rd minute of stoppage time. Everybody forward now for Swope. Kuzain, not his best delivery. Diab for the header. Forbes controls. Knocked towards the corner flag. Precious seconds knocking off the clock now for Phoenix. Dick to take the throw in. Moments away from full time. Cortez with the challenge. Asante keeps it in. Solo across for Didier. Icing on the cake. Didier Drogba sends Phoenix into hyperspeed and on to the Western Conference Finals. Absolute scenes in the desert.
Swope Park Rangers had to go and try and find an equalizer. This all comes from Chris Cortez. We said how silent he was in the first half. He gets his goal. He's silent in the second, but this tackle that leads to the ball down into the channel for Solomon Asante, who then puts it on a silver platter for Didier Drogba. He wants it from the fans. The king searching for his crown, which will be the USL Cup of 2018 if Phoenix has their way.
Was it going to be any other man to ensure that they would take one more step, that he would have one more game to his legendary career? There it is, full time. Phoenix off to the Western Conference Finals for the first time in club history. It's their second postseason win, and they will await the winner of Orange County and Reno. Devin, what do we make of it all?
This is all about perseverance. You have to give credit to the home squad of Phoenix Rising. Heavyweight title fight in the first half. Coaches make changes at halftime. You come out in the second. You don't want to say it was a completely different story, but the execution lacking from Swope Park Rangers. Phoenix Rising able to pick and choose their opportunities down the stretch, and it doesn't hurt to get the king involved right at the end of things. Felt like this was one that got away from Swope Park Rangers. Paolo Nakamura going to have to question his youngsters. Battle tested over the course of the season, but could not close it out when push came to shove. The veteran leadership that is Didier Drogba, the likes of Chris Cortez, all on full effect. Phoenix Rising get their victory.
Well, when it's all said and done, Phoenix come away with the win. They get the job done. They're off to the conference finals. We'll be back in a moment to wrap it up.
Worried about your kids' health care? Sick of doctor's offices with no appointments available? Let Happy Kids Pediatrics help. Our hand-picked staff is carefully cultivated to provide professional and compassionate care when your child needs it. Plus, we happily accept access, private insurance, and even offer special pricing for patients with no health insurance. With over 18 years providing quality health care to Valley children in our convenient Valley-wide locations, you can trust your child's health care to Happy Kids Pediatrics.
a night for professional football in Arizona and specifically Phoenix. Didier Drogba with a goal fit for a king in the final moment seals the deal for Phoenix Rising Football Club. The Banditos, Red Fury, and everybody here at the Phoenix Rising Soccer Complex was absolutely sensational. They're gonna huddle up in the middle of the field and talk about the next steps, but right now they're going to enjoy the night. A gritty performance from Phoenix, and the Swope Park Rangers have nothing to be ashamed of because they fought valiantly until the very end. JJ got things started in the 22nd minute, Devin.
It was all about second chances. That would be the plot for the evening. The ball that comes off of Colton Storm on a half chance through the nutmeg. Jason Johnson puts it on that left foot. Talked about the scouting report. Eric Dick cheats to the near post. Johnson goes back post. Windmill Phoenix Rising off and running. But this would go back and forth the opening 45 minutes. It was a great response from the visitors. Ball into Carlton Belmar, again with the bounce, right on the doorstep for Blackwood, 1-1 to the visitors.
Swope Park, as they've done time and time again, with a terrific response. And it wouldn't stop there. Swope Park would go ahead and get a second, Devin, and things are starting to look bleak for the home side.
33rd minute, Haji Berry just, he bides his time. This starts with Carlton Belmar, gets the shot with this left foot, and then Colton Storm, love the play by the outside back, just waits, holds for it, lays the ball off to Belmar, plays it to the back post. Haji Berry just drifting in. If there's two people you don't want on the ball, it's Carlton Belmar and Haji Berry. Phoenix can't account for either one of them. Swope Park Rangers get the go-ahead goal.
And take another look. It's another deflection that ends up playing a role in this one, Devin. It comes off of Amadou Dia. It falls perfectly for Barry. He makes no mistake about the finish, which you mentioned is so much more difficult than it looks. But then how about the response from Phoenix? Drogba, questionable whether he was offside or not, but Cortez, a great finish in the end.
Could have made the same argument. Just a shot before on Carlton Belmar on the near post, but Drogba just slips in behind the back line, drifts it to the back post, and this right here, this is just poor coming out of the back for Swope Park Rangers. Holding midfielder Agmanov, you have to be better. Can't let it drift across your body like that. Communication lacking for both squads all night long. Phoenix said no problem. Ball comes right back to the top of the box, and the other holding midfielder, Kevon Lambert, the Jamaican, just waits for it. Another deflection, steps up, hits it, finds its way to the back post. Phoenix get their third.
And on the way, yep, you guessed it, another deflection, but Phoenix will take them any way they come. And then watch Chris Cortez puts in the initial challenge. Rick Schantz already celebrating. He knows this is going in the back of the net because who else is there to finish it off? Didier Drogba. Unbelievable stuff at the death.
Looked like when Solomon Asante played this ball, it might not make it to the back post with the trailing Swope Park Ranger having an opportunity to get to it. That's not the case. Didier Drogba, the king, still getting his crown for the night, but what he is in search of the most is right there, the USL Cup. He'll get an opportunity pending the outcome of the Orange County Reno game.
7 o'clock Mountain Standard Time. Devin, early predictions for Aiden Quinn's Orange County and Reno.
Interestingly enough, Orange County is the better squad, but I've got that weird feeling. Reno and Ian Russell, they've been on a streak. They had a tear mid-season, 16 games unbeaten. They've taken down roughly 10 or 9 out of the last 12. They are hot. They are a force to be reckoned with. Brian Brown is a fantastic player. He's going to have something to say about it.
If it's Reno to win, it'll be right back here at the Phoenix Rising Soccer Complex for the conference final. If Orange County prevail, this will be the last time that the Phoenix Rising faithful will get a chance to come out to the complex to see Didier Drogba and the rest of the squad, which has given them so much to celebrate in this historic, record-breaking campaign. And they take yet another giant step to what's been their goal the entire season. And since they made their trip to Ecuador to take on Liga de Quito so many months ago, the USL Cup. They're gonna enjoy the night because they deserve it. Phoenix Rising, 4 goals to the good. You think Teddy enjoyed it? 7,700 of his best friends enjoyed yet another win in the postseason for our entire crew. And Devin Kerr, Tyler Terrence signing off. The final score, Phoenix Rising 4, Swope Park 2. It's off to the conference finals for Rick Schantz and the boys. We'll talk to you soon.
This cup copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League may not be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.